Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome to episode 3 of Behind the Barber. I'm your host, joined as always by Adrian.
Hey, what's up, y'all? How's it going? Back for episode 3, Behind the Barber. We got a special guest joining us today, one of our good friends, Joseph Goetz. He's literally walking in the studio right now.
Alright, man. Come in, Joey.
Coming in right now. Running a little late, sir, but it's alright. It's alright.
Sorry, guys. You know how it is.
Alright, man. Introduce yourself. This is Joseph, yo. Introduce yourself, man.
How's it going, everybody? My name is Joseph, and I have the honor to be these guys' friends. So,
Man, that's what's up. It's a privilege, dude.
The honor is all ours, sir.
Yeah,
All
man.
ours.
Feel free to make yourself at home, dude.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Cool. So what's up, Adrian? What are we drinking today?
Y'all got some extremely cold Corona extras.
Dang.
And I am, of course, as always, drinking nothing but natural spring water.
Yeah.
The way God intended it.
Man, that's
From
what's
the
up,
river
dude.
of Babylon.
Mhm.
Hey.
You know it.
Man, that's what's up, dude. Hey, so what's up, Adrian? What are we talking about today, man? What's on the agenda?
There is absolutely nothing on the agenda today. Today,
Yes.
it is going to be
It's
the way God
freestyle.
intended it to be. No, I'm just not. Nah, just we just got
Man.
some stuff to cover. Nothing,
Yeah.
not a lot, but it's going to be a good flowing conversation going on today. So get ready, y'all.
Man, that's what's up. That's what's up. Hey, man. I was gonna tell you guys, I finally put in my, well, not 2 weeks, but 3 weeks notice. At work.
Hey,
What?
Yeah, man.
How did that go?
Dang, bro. Well, I got 3 weeks before I officially leave and start barber college. So I talked to my manager the other day, and I was stupid nervous, man, for real.
I bet, dude.
Dang.
What how'd you tell him or what?
Well, it was pretty awkward, man. Like, because I already decided that day I was gonna talk to him, and then I waited throughout the day. I was like, yeah, I gotta go talk to him. I just let it get all super late.
You told him like right when
Yeah.
he's about to clock
Yeah,
out.
like 4:55.
Nah, about like 30 minutes before he left, I was like, hey,
We gotta talk.
hey, you got a minute? Like, yeah, dude, you got a minute? The typical before your girlfriend breaks up with you.
Right.
I know y'all been there.
You were just like, it's not you, it's me.
You mean so much more.
Yeah.
You deserve better.
You deserve somebody better. I'm not worthy. Nah, man. But in all honesty, like, I'm pretty sure he knew something was up. Of course, when I came out of the blue like that. And then we just straight up went to the office, and I told him I didn't even know how to present it or whatever, like how to introduce it. So I was like, "Hey, man, I don't know how to tell you, but I'm leaving this job." And then he kind of like just paused. I'm like, "Are you serious? Like, you're leaving?" He's yeah, man. He's all like, "If you don't mind me asking, where are you going?" He's well, actually, next month I'm starting barber college. It's something that I currently do for fun now. I enjoy it, and I really want to do make a living out of it, make it my career.
Yeah, for sure.
And he was a little taken back, you know, because like I said, it's a good company, and I've worked for him in particular for about almost 2 years. And we're super cool, man. Like, I can honestly say he's the best manager I've had. He's super cool. We joke around a lot and stuff. But after he kind of paused and thought about it, he's like, man, you know what? That's awesome, man. Like, that's not a lot of people can kind of do what they enjoy and make a living out of it. So
He could appreciate it. Then.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah, so man, I was super nervous, but once I told him, I mean, I got it off my chest already, but I don't know why, dude. I guess because this time I'm going out there doing something and being self-employed, because before I've quit my job, I've never been nervous really about it, because I've always had a solid job lined up, but this one was different, man. This one was different.
So you were kind of nervous to tell him, but at the same time relieved, I bet.
Yeah, definitely, man. I felt like a weight was lifted off my shoulders, man.
That's pretty cool.
Especially that it gave a favorable response, and not criticizing your choice or making you feel inferior and like you couldn't do the job or something.
Yeah, definitely, and that's what I was kind of worried about. Like, I didn't know if he was gonna be like, "Man, are you serious? You're gonna do that?" Or it's a good company or whatever. But I think he kind of saw how serious I was about it, and I let him know. I mean, we had a good talk for a while. Like, I probably kept him a little late. It comes, so I makes the big bucks, man.
Right.
But yeah, I kept him a bit late. We're actually talking about all that, and he was asking
Well, he
about
sounds
how
pretty
long I've been
cool
doing
because
it.
I mean, it doesn't sound like he got
Yeah.
mad. I mean, just
Nah, he was super cool about it, but yeah, dude. Surprisingly, he was very understanding. He was super cool about it. He let me know like what the process is to put in my 2 weeks notice. He let me know I was still gonna get my bonus. He wasn't gonna like prevent that from going through or nothing. And
wow.
So you got to get jumped out too?
yeah, hey.
I don't know if your company does
blood
that.
out.
I don't know.
Nah, man, but he's gonna help me out with like writing the letter, like the 2 weeks notice letter, like how it's officially done.
Wow, so he's straight up helping you then.
Yeah,
That,
for real.
you know what? I don't know him, but that sounds like a cool boss.
Yeah,
straight up.
dude. Because my other employers, they were just like straight up like mad. Like they were like,
Most employers get mad when you
Yeah.
tell them you're gonna.
yeah, they take it like you're breaking up with them, man.
But
Like, for
the
real.
thing is, like, they're not even mad that you're leaving. They're mad that they got to find somebody else to replace
Yeah.
you. Like, they
Yeah.
could really care
Yeah.
less about you, honestly.
yeah, as a person,
Facts.
most of the corporations
Facts.
are like, man, now I gotta hire somebody, interview all these knuckleheads, then I gotta train somebody, then I gotta wait.
They're
for
mad
them
because
to
you're
get
giving them more work to do.
Yeah.
That's what it is. I mean, it's whatever.
Yeah,
though.
man.
But that's awesome that you finally did that. Now you just got to look forward to your barber school starting now.
Yeah, for sure, man. And but nobody really knows. He just has to tell the senior manager there, just to make him aware and so on. But I haven't told my team. I don't know when I'm gonna tell them. I might tell them like the day before or something.
You should tell them on Friday. Be like, hey, I'll see you on Monday, and then never show up.
Never come back, right?
Like, hey, man, let's hold
Just
still.
leave them. Just leave them in suspense.
Yeah. No,
Leave
tell
it-
one
yeah.
person that you think you might be going to jail.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then
Leave
tell-
it a
and then not
mystery.
show up.
Yeah, that's what's
Yeah.
up.
If y'all see me on the news, don't switch that channel.
Yo, man.
Just be like, I gotta go to Canada real quick. Just don't.
Gotta make it stop.
Yeah.
Nah, man, but it's like, I don't know. I feel like I almost saw it coming because I'm like the only cat at my desk that doesn't like have it all decorated with pictures and all this stuff.
I don't.
Like,
I don't
for
have
real,
my
like,
desk decorated at all. Like,
I don't know
pretty
why.
much.
Like, I don't know if like subconsciously I'm like, nah, I don't want to make this place my home. I don't want to stay here. But I never like set up. Like in my other jobs, I've always set up on it, like just to get more comfortable, set up all my personal things. But
I think I'm gonna quit my job. Oh, it's all expired.
Yeah.
I know what you mean, though. Yeah, you just never got too comfortable then.
yeah, man. Like Will said, you don't want to like set up roots, you know.
Yeah, he did say that. Yeah, that's true.
That was a good episode last time, man.
It was.
Yeah, enjoyed it.
It was good.
That dude's voice is a little bit too deep, man. Kind of made it sound
I
like
think he was
kids,
auto-tuning
dude.
himself.
Who's using the mixer?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Well,
That's what's up.
No, but 2 weeks, they could go either way. Because I remember quitting this job that, I mean, they made it so easy to quit. And I was so glad to quit.
Wow.
So I kind of wanted to, like, throw it in their face. Like, you guys don't appreciate me. You don't understand exactly how much I do. So I'm just going to go ahead and quit when you need me the most. Which is not an example that I hope
Yeah.
everybody follows.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're not supporting that.
Right?
idea.
Yeah, no, do not. But for real, like, don't just leave at a moment's notice, right? That's not real loving.
Yeah, man,
Yeah.
we're not promoting that here.
Yeah.
so anyways, we got into the whole 2 weeks notice thing real quick. So we forgot to introduce you, Joseph. I did say your name and stuff, but why don't you just go ahead and give us a little background about yourself so everyone gets familiar with you.
Well, I got 23 long years of life.
Man,
Not much experience because my mom, she didn't let me work till I graduated high school because she felt like I was going to drop out if I started working and making money. But in regards to like putting in your 2 weeks notice and stuff, like you, so I had quit other jobs.
yeah.
But at this last job I quit, I was so ready to quit, and they made it just like super easy. And that's why I brought up, like, I just want to kind of like stick it to them and make them miss me.
Yeah.
And so, but whenever I was interviewing for the current job I have,
Yeah.
everything went great. And the owner of the company, he actually told me, he said, okay, well, I see on your application here
Yeah.
that you can start in a week. And then I told him, well, honestly, like, for real, I could start tomorrow. I was like, I have no regrets. Like, I could completely burn that bridge
At this new job, right?
at the new job.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, I could burn this old bridge that I had and
Yeah.
not even lose an ounce of sleep over it. And he said, well, I expect you to give your 2 weeks. He said, because that's professional. It doesn't matter what somebody did wrong to you. That doesn't make it right for you to do the wrong thing. He said, so I would want you to give me 2 weeks. So why don't you go ahead and we just set your start date at 2 weeks. Yeah. But he said, if you go back and they tell you, well, you could leave, there's no point in you being here, well, then give us a call. And that's what happened. Like, I went back and I told them to fire me. And then I just and then I went and then they hired me at this other company.
Dude, now you bring that up, man. That's a good point. But dude, some companies are jerks, man. Like, cause I got hired with this one cat in my class, and he was telling me at his former job, another big company, that you didn't think they would do something unprofessional like that. But he had put in his 2 weeks notice, like professionally. He did it in writing. He talked to his boss. He was very cordial about it. It wasn't rude or nothing. He's like, hey, I found a better something I want to pursue. And then, like, he said, the manager was all mad. He's like, you know what, man, you could just leave right now. If you're going to be quitting, like, just leave right now. So it's like, man, it kind of sucked. This guy was doing it the right way, and now he's losing out on 2 weeks of income.
Wow.
Which, I mean, for a lot of people, dude, one day losing work, if you're on a tight budget, it'll mess you up.
Yeah.
So, man, so even companies act wrong, man. But no, that's good that you went through it the right way.
Yeah.
I would think you would have to, like, talk to your HR department and see if they can, like, fight that, because that doesn't seem right, you know.
Yeah, like, I'm sure he probably could have got like a lawsuit with the company or something. Yeah, but no, he just decided, like, you know, man, forget that company. He was just basically done with it.
Yeah,
he was fed up with it. But man, I was surprised because, like, that's a huge bank that he worked for. Like, man, it's pretty petty, dude.
Yeah. Hey, a lot of people are petty. Yeah, even doesn't matter if they're professional or not.
Yeah, that's what's up. But nah, dude, you really definitely, if you can, I mean, you always want to put in your 2 weeks notice. You don't want to slack off towards the end. You want to do it the right way with the right attitude, because, dude, like, you never know if it might not work out. And luckily, man, I've always had a really good relationship with my managers that they always say, like, hey, man, if it doesn't work out, I mean, come back and talk to me, dude. I still have all my managers' numbers, emails, and they've always been awesome about it. Like, as far as if it doesn't work out, feel free to come back.
Yeah.
I don't even have my manager's number right now.
So when you show up, you just don't show up. Like, when you're
if I don't show up, I'm just not going to be there.
Yeah. Don't expect me until I arrive.
You just learn how to deal with stuff. You take the punches and you keep going, dude.
Yeah, I always freak out on the applications when it asks, like, is it okay to contact your current employer?
Yeah.
Big old X on the no.
Yeah.
Underline it.
And I was like, yeah, that might be a little sketchy if they have no idea what you want, you know, or they don't have any idea that you're looking for other opportunities to pursue.
Yeah, I usually put no because I usually, like, I'm still working there at the time, so I'm like, kind of want you to call and let them know.
Right?
I don't know what the rules behind it. I could be completely wrong on this, but I think somebody told me that big companies, what they do, like, all they're supposedly allowed to do is contact that company's headquarters and ask them the time frames that you're employed. Just so that way they know that for sure, this guy's not lying about working here. He really does have that job experience.
I've heard that legally they're only supposed to ask that question. Yeah. But I've also heard experiences where they ask more questions. They're not supposed to do that, supposedly.
Well, in that case,
I've heard experiences about that. Like, some people, they call and then they're like, oh, did he work here right here? And they're like, yes. And then it's like, oh, well, you know, would you hire him again and stuff like that. And it's like, then they start getting more into it. And,
digging deeper.
Yeah, and it's just like, well... So I really don't know, but that's what I've heard as well. That they can only ask about the dates.
Yeah, man.
Well, I can never even, like, remember my start date, though. So now that I know that, like, in the future, for sure I'm going to put that. Because, I mean, depending on which job, you know, you're looking to pursue, there's a lot of experience that you may want to leave off. You know, like, I have other experience that doesn't necessarily serve me at the job that I'm at now.
You're a dancer or what?
Well, I mean... How do you think I
past life?
I mean, right? In another world.
That's the old Joseph.
Right? No, because for example, like I delivered pizza.
Yeah.
And then so that doesn't look good on some applications depending on where I want to go.
Yeah.
But if I'm doing anything with customer service, like, of course I'm gonna put that in there.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, pizza delivery boys, like, they see the world, you know. They see everything from good customers, bad customers. So,
man, hungry people are like, man, they're some of the toughest people, dude. People get cranky, man, when they want to eat.
They get hangry.
Yeah.
Hangry.
Wow, man. But yeah, dude. Going back to my manager, man. Like, even though he offered that, I mean, he's super cool, and he actually does like a lot of the interviews and stuff. So he was very involved in that. So he has like a lot of pull. But really, man, I'm gonna keep that in the back of my mind. But nah, man, I'm already gonna be paying for school, taking 11 months off. So man, I'm going all in. So I mean,
might as well. Yeah.
I'll hold on to his number, his email, and all that. But nah, man, I have no plans on returning. And even if I get through some rough spots, which, I mean, it's going to happen in the beginning when I'm trying to get clientele, I'm not going to go running back to my old jobs. Like, I want to get into this 100%.
Yeah, for sure. So now, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, anytime you start anything like that, there's a little bit of risk involved.
Yeah.
Like, I know for, speaking from, like, a air conditioning business standpoint, like, they tell me you got to at least have 3 solid years of like making no money, like barely making ends meet.
Dang.
Because then you build up your clientele, and then you're able to make money off of them because they refer you to other people.
Right.
But initially, you're buying all the equipment, you're stocking the trucks, you're making You're
talking about when you start your own company.
Yeah, when you're starting.
Yeah.
And then so there's a good chunk of time actually that you really don't expect to make profit. Wow. But if you're able to stick it out and budget accordingly, then I mean, this guy actually came into my job and he was all like, "Oh man, well I got the Hummer truck, I got the Corvette, what else? I got my wife, a Range Rover." And he's just going on and on about his 8 cars, his 4-car garage with the pool, and like, well, not the garage doesn't have a pool in it. But, house with a pool.
That's impressive.
Yeah, and he's like, and there's like a maid's quarter. Wow. He's like, I didn't even know what that was. And then so, there's plenty of money to be made when you go into business on your own. It's just being able to survive that momentarily lull period.
Yeah, the tough part, man, but luckily, man, I feel that I've been pretty fortunate to make a lot of friends, and they all like to be definitely look sharp. So, I mean, I think right off the bat, man, I think I could at least get like an easy 30 clients solid. But, man, you still got to get a lot more to make a living off of it. So, I'm just going to like depend on really good customer service. And if somebody really likes your work and enjoys the service you provide, you're on time, you're providing a good haircut and everything, they're gonna refer you, man. Like, they're gonna talk to their friends about you and so on. So I'm really hoping that my friends do that too, because I think word of mouth is like the best thing, bro.
Yeah,
I think definitely like going into like an industry like yours, I think that would be the best thing, the word of mouth as well, like referrals and things like that. I think that's how you'll gain most of your clientele, and of course you post it like on your social media and things like that.
Yeah, definitely.
So that is, I think that'll be good.
Yeah. So how you like your current job, Joey?
Well, I really like it. This is, let's see, we're in July.
Yeah.
So I've been there 4 months, and so I've been in the air conditioning field for a while, but this is my first time actually working in a different facet of it. So I work at a supply house, an air conditioning supply house. And, I mean, it's a struggle because, I mean, we don't have clients ourselves personally.
Yeah.
But there's 3 stores from the same owner in San Antonio. And then so all these stores, they kind of compete with each other to see who makes most money out of the store. And then so...
It's the same company?
Yeah, it's the same company.
Oh, wow.
So the money's, going to the same guy.
Yeah.
But still, each store gets incentives for doing more business. For example, you could hit like a double bonus, a triple bonus, for example, depending on how much money your store makes.
Right.
So it's important to keep your customers coming back to your store. Even though they know your company's name, they know exactly where all 3 locations are in San Antonio, you want them coming back to you.
Right. So talk to me about that, man. How do you think they can get the customer coming back to you? Because you're saying that this is 3 stores, which it's a hardware store, right, for AC mechanics to go in, right?
Exactly.
So it's 3 stores in the same city. It's for the same company, so I'm assuming it's the same prices. So if there's 3 different stores at the same prices. What do you think makes a difference for them to go back to your store?
Definitely, one is knowing your stuff.
Right.
Because there's a total. I mean, I'm just roughing. You know, I don't know exactly how many counter salesmen there are, but let's just say there's 15 people that you could possibly call.
Right.
To get you the same part, the same price, and everything, because your price is linked to your account. But you always call the same guy because, one, he's never failed you.
Yeah.
And 2, even if he doesn't know, he immediately tries to find out and find what you want. Now, there's plenty of guys that they give up for the simple, oh, well, I don't see it in our system.
Wow.
When all it
I
takes...
can't stand that, dude.
Yeah. They'll legit say that.
Bro.
They'll say that just because, like,
God.
sometimes we, like, for example, me, starting out, I don't have access to the whole database that other more senior people there at the company have.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that I can't go ask for somebody's help. That doesn't mean that I can't try my hardest to research stuff on Google.
Yeah.
For example, this guy today, he asked me how to do something to a tool. And I said, well, I've never done it to that tool. And he said, well, you have to be able to. And I told him, because there was a bunch of customers behind him, right, waiting. I told him, well, I'm sure Google or YouTube, right? I mean, that's what I always do when I look for my car. And he goes, are you serious? Like, you can find this stuff on YouTube? I was like, well, let's try it out.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm right here talking to this guy, knowing that I have quite other people waiting to see me. I go through YouTube on my phone and show him which video that he could watch later on his own time.
Man.
And so now, it's true to the other customers, they might be like, what the heck, this guy's just on his phone.
No.
But to that customer, he knew exactly what I was doing, and he knew the service that I was willing to go through, even though I didn't know exactly I didn't know how to answer his question.
Yeah, and that's the difference between you and somebody else who isn't as good as customer service. Because a lot of people, they just see the numbers like, oh, I want to get through 10 people super quick. And even though if 9 of those people, I didn't help them fully with a problem.
Yeah.
And dude, like, yeah, maybe they had to wait an extra minute, the people in line. But dude, that's really giving testimony to yourself. All those people are watching you go above and beyond, go the extra mile, do something that's really not your job.
Exactly.
So yeah, man, a lot of people might initially see that like, man, you're slowing down the line. But I see it as something good. I think it's going to retain people. Now, if any of those other 9 people that are waiting in line have a problem, well, they know, you know what, I'm going to go back to that store. I think Joey's going to help me out. Even if he doesn't know, he could help me find the answer.
Exactly, yeah. And I believe you said this in your second episode, right? About admitting when you were going to be wrong. And admitting when you don't have all the answers.
Yeah.
And that really goes a long way because, honestly, most of us in our adult lives only know about like 40% of what actually is going on.
Preach.
Yeah, and then so we just have to kind of wing it, but as long as you're winging it together, you know, you're building that customer rapport, and they appreciate it too because they say, wow, this guy, even though he doesn't know, he's clueless like I am, we're working on this together, so now we're a team, and that's how you form that bond.
Yeah. And dude, there's, because again, the industry I work in, man, it can be pretty stressful. A lot goes into like investments, and especially when you're dealing with people's money that they've worked their whole life and they're depending on it. It can get very stressful and it can get very detailed. But like, dude, there's a lot of times where I don't know the answer, and like I sometimes either choose to put them on hold if I don't think it's gonna be long. But a lot of times I found that I've actually gotten compliments off customers and told them, you know what, sir, at the moment I don't know. It may take more than a few minutes for me to get the answer and make sure I get you an accurate answer. Would it be fine if I take your number and call you back so that way you don't have to wait for 5, 10, 15 minutes? And dude, people are super appreciative of that because not only are you saving them time, because time is money with those financial advisors who sell all day, but you're also giving them confidence because they're like, man, you know what, I appreciate that because I know you're not just coming up with an answer real quick to get me off the phone.
And plus, everybody hates that elevator music that they play when they're on the elevators.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Hey, not everyone.
Celine Dion's
you
greatest
call it
hits.
just to the music.
I just call it. I'm like, can you please put me on hold?
for favors.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
my Spotify playlist.
I'm like, you answered my question, but I have another one, but I have to think of it. So just put me on hold.
Please.
Get back to me after the next call's
Right?
done.
Yeah. So one thing for sure that keeps people coming back would be one, knowing your stuff.
Yeah.
Right? But two, in my case, having the things they need in stock.
Yeah.
And then so as a barber, that might be a little different because it's not like you can stockpile, different motors that we can.
Right.
But you can always make sure, one, that you have whatever products you're going to use, they're ready and available, and preferably topped off too, because you never know when's the next time you're going to get it.
Yeah,
And
for sure.
your clippers, making sure they're always fine and dandy. Make sure that they're always going to be cutting right, because nobody wants to arrive to a barber and he can't find his clippers, he can't find his scissors. He's asking other people, hey, could you lend me some gel or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
Because that just shows the forethought that you put into giving this person a haircut, all the
Yeah.
preparation.
Definitely. And then you kind of remind me of something right now when you said, of course, your industry is more like in a sales and customer service with actual products that they take. And yeah, you got to stockpile them. And yeah, even though we're not selling, as a barber, you're not selling something that they physically take home. I mean, one thing that you can't stockpile on is knowledge. Like, for example, your store, you sell all these parts. While as a barber, you should be very knowledgeable in doing different kind of haircuts. And that in itself could be like stocking up on all these different products.
That's true.
That, or even just straight up the basic products, dude. Because I've seen barber shops where like the other barber's missing. And this fool is like, he's ran out of razors, he ran out of neck strips, he freaking steals like razors from the next guy. Or even if he's not stealing them, maybe if they have an agreement like, hey, you can get them. To me, that still looks unprofessional.
Going into somebody else's space and grabbing their stuff.
Because, yeah, dude, like, come on, man. You're not, it's not rocket science, man. If you're going to be here 8 hours, if you do 2 haircuts an hour, you're going to need 16 neck strips. You're going to need 16 razors. Why aren't you going to the store getting it yourself? Why are you cutting off your other guy's supply?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, man. In that case, too, we could be like your store, making sure you guys are stocked up on the product.
Yeah. Yeah, and, I mean, honestly, you're the professional.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people, just like in my case, that really don't know what they want until you tell them what they want. And so they use all these vague phrases. They use all these random ways of explaining things that you personally would never use because you know the correct terminology. And so, like, the thing is, making them feel like they know everything in the world.
Yeah.
But it's only because you're the one that's applying them with the right words.
Yeah.
Because that boosts their ego. That makes them
Yeah.
feel like they know exactly what they're talking about.
Yeah.
And and also it shows that you're listening to them.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure, dude. And I can really definitely testify to that because in my line of business, I speak to 2 different people. Financial advisors who are very well-educated people when it comes to finances, to stocks, to bonds, to savings. So they're super well-educated. They talk like, it gets annoying hearing like, yeah, I want to diversify this portfolio, liquidate this account. Like, it's just all these high-level words. And then sometimes...
Was that Russian?
Hey.
Yeah, we'll stop speaking Chinese.
Yeah, man. And then we'll get the investors call in, and some of them are maybe younger guys. They're like, they call in all kind of even scared a bit. They're like, hey, they call in so confused, like, hey, went to this guy and he opened up something for me for my retirement. I don't know what it is. Sorry, I don't have the account. And like going back to your case, like you're, I forgot what you mentioned earlier about not having or not pulling it up in their system.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I can't stand when somebody can't perform more than one search. Like, if somebody calls in, I mean, I could easily be a jerk and be like, well, you need your account number. And be like, no, sir, instead of doing that, I'll just make them feel comfortable. Like, no, sir, that's not a problem, sir. We can definitely look you up by your name or your social if you don't mind providing that to me.
Mm-hmm.
So, dude, like, I can't stand people that it has to be black and white. Like, it has to be this. Everything has to line up perfectly in order for them to help you out.
Yeah.
And, well, customers, especially if they're maybe unexperienced in your case in the AC technical part of it, or in my case with investments, you definitely want to bring it down, bring it more low level, and make them feel comfortable.
Yeah. You never want to make anybody feel like guilty for asking questions because I know we've talked about this, on our free time, I guess, not on podcast time. But I don't have much experience going to barbers, you know. And then if I were to show up, and I'd have no idea what I want because my mom's cut my hair for the past 6, 7, 8 years.
Shout out.
Yeah, shout out, Mom,
Shout
if
out
you're ever
mom.
listening to this. Hi, Mom, I'm on the radio. No, but
He made it. He made it. He made
another
it,
one. Right? No, and then so like I definitely would be like those guys calling, you know, with their voice all quivering, like, hey, yeah, could you hook me up? And, you know, and they're gonna be like, just give me whatever they want.
Yeah.
Right? And so yeah, I definitely feel like that's a big thing because people this day and age they were so anxious, like especially with the younger crowd, anxiety runs rampant, and then so just a simple thing like, oh wait, well I never have a problem with this barber because he always understands me. He always he doesn't make me talk too much, you know. I know he engages me in conversation, but only when I feel comfortable.
Yeah, it doesn't force it out.
Exactly.
Yeah, so what's up, dude? So you've never really gone to a barber, like, at all? Like, your mom's always cut your hair from the beginning?
When we moved from California to Fort Worth, the only place I remember going to was this Asian barbershop.
Hey, Asian?
Yeah.
Asian? I've never seen an Asian barbershop.
Yeah, they were intense. But I didn't understand them, obviously. And then, so, I mean, as a kid, I didn't know what I wanted, so my mom would always tell them what to give me.
Bowl cut.
And exactly. She's jack them up. That way kids at school make fun of them.
Hey. Good.
Right? And then, so later, I mean, honestly, I never went to the barbershop at an age to ask for a haircut on my own. So I was like that young, you know. I didn't know the terms. I didn't know how to explain myself. I didn't know if I wanted a 2 and a 1 and, you know, scissor cut or whatever it's called.
So if you don't mind me asking, like, why would your mom cut your hair, for money reasons or?
Yeah, for money reasons. At the time, there was she was a single mom, and it was 2 boys, and you know, pricing different places, it could easily have been $15 a piece. Plus, you got to leave tip
easily,
and then so that's $20 a piece. That's $40 on a single mom's income.
If you did it twice a month, that's
exactly
that could be like a water bill or something she could be doing.
And I don't want to get too much into the glass ceiling and how women don't make equal pay as men do, but you know, she did what she needed to. And I'm appreciative because to me, I thought I always looked good.
Dude, honestly, like you caught me off surprised when you told me you cut your mom's hair. Because not dogging it at all, because like a lot of times when I remember when we were kids and people would say their mom would cut their hair, like, man, it was all jacked up. But you got a good haircut. Like, I always saw you went to a licensed barber.
So your mom cut your hair and then you cut your mom's hair?
No, I didn't cut her hair.
Oh,
she wouldn't let me.
Okay.
No. But no, my mom, but she didn't always start out doing good haircuts.
Dang.
Right? And so I remember one time we had a real important family event to go to. And this time she wasn't cutting my hair, thankfully. But she was cutting my stepbrother's hair.
You got the Sub-Zero all around?
Bro, like, she forgot to put the guard on the clippers and just, like, a huge chunk of his hair. My stepdad was furious. And me and my stepbrother, we were laughing it up. But so my mom's quick fix was putting eyeliner, right, to fill in the skin, so it wouldn't look that much of a difference. But what I'm alluding to is we all, like, at first, you know, she just learning and practicing. We were always uneven. But we were still presentable as kids, you know.
Definitely.
And then so I know you're going to be dealing with adults and people that really have important things to go to and can't afford to get a messed up haircut. But then again, that's why you're going to college. That's why you're going for professional training, and that.
Yeah, and I'm definitely gonna have that in the beginning because, man, honestly, I've only been cutting hair for Adrian, like 6 months.
Yeah.
It's not long, like, because, dude, I watch a lot of these Instagram barbers, and, like, a lot of them, they say, like, before they even go to barber college, they had been cutting hair since they were, like, teenagers, and then they go as adults, and they're already, like, they already got the skill. They're just kind of going for the license. But me, dude, I just cut my brother's hair. Sometimes I cut my friend's hair, but they're very easy haircuts. Like, it'll be like a 1 on the side and shears on top, like 2 inches or something. where it's not that hard. I think once you get into the zeros, like man, that's zeros is where you can.
Because that's like
really
skin,
gotta,
right?
Yeah, that's where you got to get to the skin, and you really gotta make it nice.
You're gonna mess up some people's hair, like
yeah.
I'm not being mean. Just like you're gonna mess up, like.
Yeah,
but it's the only way you're gonna learn, and you're gonna perfect it that way too.
Yeah, and I really accepted it, so that way, that way, I'm not super disappointed when I go in there.
I've been to that college, and I've seen people mess up their hair. Like everyone does it. Like I've seen people leave with like horrible haircuts. It's just, I mean, you know what could happen if you go in there. Like, so you just accept it and deal with it.
Yeah, dude. And speaking about your mom balding out was it Johnny, right?
Yeah.
She bald out Johnny.
Shout out.
I'm gonna bring that up to Johnny.
Shout out Johnny.
I know. Text him real fast.
Shout out to the Johnny with the patch on his head up there in New York.
Now he grew back.
Yeah, man. But speaking about that, like 6 months ago, or about 6 months ago or so, when I first actually decided to practice on it, because I've always been interested in barbering, but I only finally decided to practice on it about 6 months on my brother. And so shout outs to Angel, shout out to Jose. He was actually my first victim. But the same thing. I tried doing the clipper over comb, and basically the clipper over comb is like you angle it, and then you really don't want to push down on it because then it's gonna get down to the skin.
Oh.
But I basically had with no guard in the zero and unexperienced, I pushed down on it, so like I should have left him a bald spot on the back of his head, dude, and I couldn't fix it. The only way I could fix is doing the zero all the way, but it's like, and then the whole hair would be messed up because I didn't know how to blend in the zero yet. Like,
man.
But luckily for him, I mean, he had a really good attitude, man. So I really appreciate it. I felt horrible like the whole day. I'm like, man, he's got to walk around stupid. But like, he was actually pretty cool about it. I somewhat blended it in, but you could tell. Yeah. You could tell there was a patch there, but luckily, like he's like, yeah, he works construction, so he has a hard head on him, so he didn't make a big deal about it.
But the thing is, family, they should always be there, to help you out in your endeavors. And as kids, we didn't have a choice, but your brother was definitely, a real nice dude to offer himself willingly to be a test subject.
And then the other day, I decided to do a zero on my other brother. Man, it didn't come out good. Like, it didn't come out horrible, but like, it wasn't a good haircut. Like, but it's just like.
Hey, the free cuts, though, right?
Yeah, the free haircuts. It's like his hair grows back quick.
So it is what it is. Like I said, you're gonna mess up. Like, there's no other way to learn. You're not gonna bust out a perfect haircut on your first try. So.
But even at now, like that, I'm not doing great haircuts. I'm better now on my brother Jose's hair because, like, his hair is like super easy. He has like perfect fine hair that lays down, and he gets like a 2 on the side and an 8 on top. So that's like super easy to blend in. Like. All I have to do is blend in towards the top right here and do shear work. Mm-hmm. So like his haircut actually comes out nice now, but
so he's going to be on your Instagram, right?
Yeah,
pictures of the good haircuts.
I'm gonna leave out that one time I balded.
Right. No, but you know what? I went to school for air conditioning as well. Yeah. And you could see the stark contrast of the people that went in kind of knowing a little bit,
right,
versus people such as myself that had no idea. And what it was the humility, because the other people that kind of had an idea, they were so cocky in class, they didn't want to listen to the instructor.
They're like, I know it already.
Exactly. Right? Anytime we had any hands-on practice, which really counts in both of our fields,
right?
I mean, they wouldn't want to do it because they would be like, oh, I've taken the gauges off this air conditioner so many times, and yet when test time came around, and when you read actually like the professional way to do it. And the proven way to do it, 9 times out of 10, they'd be doing it wrong. Wow. And so a lot of these companies, they get frustrated because they get a bunch of these guys with bad habits. Yeah. And they don't want to learn. They don't want to adjust to the company. And so you don't want to be a barber with bad habits, going to college thinking you know everything, because then why even go to college?
Yeah. And that brings up a good point.
It is a good point.
I remember at my last job at a call center I had at a credit union here. One of my managers said something when she was hiring people, and she was talking to me about hiring some guy, and then she's like, yeah, this guy has no experience. I think I'm gonna hire him instead of this other guy. He's been working at this other company for years. And I was like, well, that kind of really, at face value, that really doesn't make any sense. I mean, you would think ideally you would want to get the guy with experience.
You want to get the people with no experience because they can just mold them the way they want to.
Exactly, dude. Yeah. Exactly. So I've heard that, like, a lot of times if somebody's been working at this company for 10 years and he has this idea of the way it should be done, and he has his previous company's standards of what's good customer service, a lot of times they're hard to mold, man. And I've seen that. I've worked in customer service only about 9 years, but I've seen a lot of people that are very experienced come from other jobs and they don't adapt good.
Yeah.
Because they want to stick to their own ways and they don't want to change. They don't want to learn nothing new.
Yeah.
So.
Or you can't tell them nothing because they're like, oh yeah, it's the same thing or something.
Yeah, for sure, man.
And I think as a barber too, you know, being flexible, because you know, the barbers that rent chairs.
Yeah.
And if a different chair comes available in a better spot that you think you'd do better at there, I mean, you still got to fit in with the whole barber shop.
Right.
Because even though you work on your own, it's kind of like they view you as they view that company.
Right.
And then so you need to be able to be flexible, and you know, nobody likes, you know, hiring that new guy with a bad attitude.
Right, definitely. And, you know, speaking about hiring at a barbershop, man, I was really surprised. As far as like when I asked the people at the barber college, like, hey, how's like the hiring process? Like, you gotta take a resume of where you worked at. You gotta sit down and have an interview with the shop owner. And like she just kind of like laughed, like, nah, it's like barbers are in demand right now. Like, I mean, they're just.
She's all, slip me a 20.
Yeah, it's just like it's like basic supply and demand. Like the demand's there, so like barbers, I mean, it's like if you go to a barber shop and like it's busy, like yeah, they're just gonna hire you right there. Like if you want, you can work right now.
Oh damn!
Just
really?
Just pay up that booth rent of like $100 a week or $150 a week or whatever.
So they don't even see if you know how to cut hair.
Well, I'm sure they do that. I'm sure they do that. I mean, they'll find that out as soon as you get hired on the first day, and I'm sure if on the first day you don't do good. But just like that was completely different to me, man, because not even exaggerating, bro. Like at this company, I don't remember if it was 4 or 5 interviews that I had to go through.
Man.
And they were like serious interviews. Like they were trying to stump you and ask you to elaborate on all these questions.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to go through, I remember the first one was like a quick 5-minute interview. The next one was like a longer 20-minute interview. The next one was a Skype interview, which to me was completely different. And then like the last one was in person. That one was like super long. At least for
what
me.
is the Magna Carta? I don't even know.
Ask me to solve these math questions.
All right.
Yeah, dude. So, dude, to me, like, I come from a different background where, like, you have to, like, sit down, submit a resume. It has to be professionally written. You got to have legit references. And to me, like, at first, that sounds kind of good. But if I do decide to go the route of being a shop owner, which I'm not sure if I want to do that just because I kind of want to get into this for freedom, to travel and stuff. So I don't know if I want to be a shop owner. It's something I think would be cool, but to me that would be something different, man, because like the way I've talked to my current barber and I've talked to the shop owners and I've seen other barbershop owners on Instagram talk about how easy it is to get hired just because there's just so much demand, and even if it's not a demand, the shop owner just wants you to pay up that booth rent. Yeah. So like to me, dude, if I ever become a shop owner, I'm gonna like completely change it, dude. Like I'm gonna want to interview these guys. I'm gonna want to like see them get a haircut. I'm gonna want to talk to them about how they respond to feedback. Are they clean? Are they on time? Like, but dude, which is completely different than what it is.
Do you need a barber's license to be a shop owner?
That I don't know. I don't believe so, because you're basically a business owner.
Yeah.
But from
as long as you have their licenses.
Yeah, as long as the people that are actually doing the haircutting, for sure, they have to have their license.
Dude, let's be shop owners.
Dude, I'm down.
Right?
I just thought about that right now. I was like, why don't we?
I was like, but the thing about it, like you said, you know, them being on time. Yeah. So I guess, although their schedule could be whenever, if they put that they're going to be there, you expect them to be there.
Yeah, for sure. Because that's the advantage of being a barber. I mean, in most barbershops, like, I talked to my current barber, and he says he pretty much makes his own hours, but I mean the shop owner kind of wants you to be consistent on that time, so that way your clients know that between this hours and this hours you're working. But at the same token, I mean, like, I hear a lot of complaints on Instagram or on YouTube or on other barbershop podcasts where, like, man, these like barbers like don't care, dude. Like, they do what they want, like they make their own hours, like they have horrible customer service. So that's really the only thing I'm scared of, man. Like, not scared of, but I think I'm gonna get frustrated with, like, because I've been used to working in a professional environment for so long. Like, depending on what shop I go to, like, it could be like pretty cool guys that are somewhat professional, or it could be like most of the shops I've gone to where people are cussing it up, listening to like straight up trap music, blasting, like
little 8-year-olds bobbing their head, right?
Man, not greeting the customer. Like the other day, you remember when I sent you that video of that rap song playing at my barbershop?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, like, and they straight up don't even, like, have the decency to go to Pandora, pay for Pandora, it's just so that way they could at least...
Have the edited version?
Yeah, at least have the edited version. If you're gonna have a rap song on there, at least edit it out, man, because you got moms, kids, and older guys that don't like listening to them. Dude, man, like, they had I think it was Master P, right?
It was a bourbon, Bourbons and Lacs,
yeah.
if I remember. If you haven't heard it.
Yeah.
If you have heard it, you know what it is.
You know what's up. And not just that one, like the songs before that, it was just like straight up cussing up a storm, man. And then like I see this other guy right in front of me. Like, I mean, I prefer not to listen to it, but I'm a young guy, so it doesn't really like faze me. But dude, I saw this guy in front of me. He's about 6 years old, getting a haircut, and he had the speaker right in front of him. Like, you could tell he was just like angry, dude. Like he felt disrespected. Like come on, man, I'm a 6-year-old guy. You should pay some respect to me. Like, I did my time. Like,
yeah.
You could tell he just did not feel comfortable. He looked angry, and it's like, and like to me, like, where is the shop owner, man? Like, come on.
But
dude.
in my defense, most 60-year-old men do look angry.
Yeah,
yeah. They got other problems.
Just playing.
It could have been, the swing music or whatever. Still be angry. Yeah, no, definitely.
No, to all the 60-year-olds.
No, shout out.
Shout out to all the 60-year-olds.
Shout out to all the 6-year-olds. I was just kidding.
I guess I would have to add that to, like, that point to keeping them coming back was how comfortable you make them. Because, for example, our store, we always got fresh coffee in the morning. We got cookies set out for them. People come legit just to, like, hang out at the store. And then so it's kind of like a mini barbershop because you hear everybody's problems. Like I mentioned, the guy talking about all his cars, and you hear everybody's success stories as well. And that motivates you because you're saying, wow, I'm a part of an establishment that can bring people together.
Man, and it really is like a barbershop. I think any job where it's like a bunch of guys, like blue collar guys, doing kind of any kind of like physical work or skill or trade, I think it really does kind of resemble a barbershop because it's away from the corporate world. We gotta put on a suit and tie and talk professional, and you can just be men,
Yeah.
But at the same token, you want to have your limits. I mean, you don't want to be cursing or speaking inappropriately, but you do want to be having fun, talking about sports or joking around or something. So I think even though you don't really have a lot of experience in a barbershop, I think you kind of get the same feel with working with the guys at the store you work at.
Yeah, that's true. And like I think every Wednesday at some locations they have hot dog Wednesdays.
Dang.
And I mean,
you need to find out at what location.
Yeah, exactly. And, check
they got Thirsty Thursdays,
right?
Jueves.
Check out the details in the info of this podcast.
Shout out
for the locations. No, yeah, but
shout out
I mean,
to ABC Supplies.
Right? But it's true though. I don't, do barbers offer that kind of stuff? Like when you get to their booth, you always know you're gonna have Reese's peanut butter cups. Dude, you always know you're gonna have mints or something.
The thing I do see that's pretty uniform, I always see them at older barbershops. I see them have like lollipops for kids.
Oh yeah.
That's about it. But dude, I've seen like, man, if I ever become a shop owner, like I just see so much cool stuff being done.
You need to change the game and give like every customer a Big Mac or something.
Hey, right? Yeah.
Shout out.
Or at least a gallon of Mac sauce or something.
Yeah, I've seen like a lot of barbershops where they have like complimentary beer or like one complimentary shot. I mean, you don't want people out there turning up because then it might get a little ghetto and people might feel uncomfortable. But I mean, every guy while they're waiting, I mean, I wouldn't mind having a beer while I wait.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
Especially if you're taking walk-ins and some guys gotta be sitting down for an hour or two. Like, come on, just get
sip on a brew, right? Yeah.
It'll make him calm down. He's not gonna be all irate because he's waiting for you.
Yeah.
But just things like that, and even if you don't do that, I mean, I think like common courtesy, you should have like some water or maybe some coffee going on. Like, dude, I would like to do something like that if I ever open up a shop.
But you're talking as a shop owner perspective.
Yeah, if I go there.
Initially, you're going to just be a barber renting a booth.
Yeah,
or
renting a booth,
chair.
Yeah.
And then, so what do you think that you can, like, implement kind of along that same fashion? That way, even people that don't necessarily know you, they see how you're taking care of, your clients and make them want to go to you.
Yeah, like one thing I've thought about a lot is with kids. Mm-hmm. Like it's been something I kind of, because I like kids. I mean,
you got several nieces and nephews.
Yeah, I got a bunch of nieces and nephews, so I like kids. But I mean, a lot of people, the way they raise them nowadays, it's not the best, so they kind of run wild. So it could kind of be something I'm looking forward to, but also something that's possibly a nightmare. Like I've seen a bunch of like YouTube videos or Instagram clips where the kids just crying it up, man, crying it up. But then at the same token, I've seen other guys do something that I do want to emulate and kind of be like them. Where they have like a special chair for the kids, where it's like a little fire truck, or they have candy for the kids. And one thing I think is real important is to let the kids see the process. So like one thing I've always thought is super cool is I think I saw some guy on YouTube do it, where he let the kid grab the clipper and like kind of like before he cut the kid's dad's hair, he let him like cut the back of his hair. Because from what I hear, like kids, they hear that noise, that grinding noise that the clipper does, and they get scared. They think it's gonna cut them.
Yeah, because they hear it. It's all loud and it's all buzzing. Then they feel
right
it
next to your ear.
Yeah, and it's like slightly scratching you, so they get scared. I mean, they're kids. They're like 2-3 years old, especially. But I've seen some barber do that, and it works out really good. Because then the kid sees like, hey, he's doing this on my dad, and I'm doing this on my dad. And after he does it on my dad, he looks great. Mm-hmm. So I've thought about things like that. And even though I can't, I think I'll be limited on what I can do.
Yeah.
But yeah, if I could have like some complimentary things for my customers, like I've thought about like giving them combs with my logo of the podcast on it or something.
Yeah.
Just something like that. Something to make them kind of feel appreciated.
I still think the Big Mac is a good idea.
Customer appreciation, right?
Customer appreciation. The Big Mac when
Big
I
Mac
show
Tuesdays.
The gym I go to every Tuesday of every month, or the first Tuesday of every month, free pizza.
Man,
customer appreciation.
And then the next day is free donuts in the morning.
Right? Yeah. And then so it's hard because it's a gym, but I mean. That's what keeps me going, honestly. Because even if I don't work out the whole month, I at least get a free meal.
There you go. Shout out.
Eat $10 worth of pizza.
Right? Exactly.
I'm taking this box home.
Thank you. Shout out.
No. Nah, that's what's up, man.
No, I think that's a good idea for the little kids. But, I mean, do our kids like a huge, I guess, clientele? I mean, I know they're not going to be paying. It's going to be their parents.
They can be, yeah. Yeah, especially
kids can be a huge clientele.
Some they definitely see it a lot more during like the start of the school. Because I mean that's when the kids want to look their best, and the moms. I think they let it kind of drag on as the school goes on, especially in the summer. I hear there's not a lot of kids, but yeah, they're a good chunk of the clientele. And a lot of barbers don't like cutting kids. I see so many of them complaining about it. And I mean, I'm gonna have to have some patience with it because I got my nieces and nephews on check. That's probably why I love them so much. Because I get after them and I make them do things right, and they know they can't be acting a fool with me. But I can't necessarily do that with clients' kids.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
they'll
get all upset at you.
Yeah, they'll be wanting to throw hands or something. But yeah, I definitely want to do the right approach. Let them know that, hey, this isn't going to hurt you. It's going to make you look nice, like your dad. And I'm going to cut your dad's hair and you'll see how it looks. But yeah.
Yeah, and you're making them grow in appreciation and also the trade, and maybe inspire some future barbers.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And I don't really understand that. Like, I don't know why kids are scared, because when I was a kid, like, my early memories of it, like, I remember looking forward to it. I thought it was super cool, like, having a knife on the back of your neck. Cause, like, dude, the old barbers I went to, like, I don't even, they straight up would do the shaver on the edges, which a lot of barbers don't do. Yeah. But I remember that was my favorite part. Like, I remember, like, oh, that's so cool. Like, he's doing a knife on my face. Like, or on the edges and the back of my neck.
I think the knife isn't as scary as the actual machine.
Sorry, not a knife, a blade. Or
oh, sorry. Yeah, the straight blade.
Yeah. I gotta start referring to him professionally.
Right.
Straight razor.
Straight razor.
Yeah, it's like a steak knife? Or what?
Rusty butter knife.
Right?
Yeah. No, but I feel like that's, like, less, like, scarier to a kid than the actual machine, because the machine is, like, super loud when you're little. I mean, it's super loud right now, but like if you're little, it's gonna
Yeah.
It's going to be way louder. I think that's what freaks them out, the noise.
Yeah, and I guess every kid's different, but man, I look forward to that, dude. I used to love going to barbershops, and kids nowadays, like, dude, I see them all crying, and I see the barber just, like, super mad. Like, you can tell he's furious, and not only that is he getting a hard time with the kid, but he's charging less because kids pay less. And it's actually more work, so it's kind of counterproductive there.
Exactly. I remember this one lady came in, and the store was a little slow that day. She came in with her 2 kids and literally went from 0 to 100 real quick.
Man.
They started climbing up like the stools. They started hiding in between certain things that we had in the store. And so me initially, like, I know when I was a kid how my mom set me straight, right? But I wasn't about to tell this lady anything because I have no idea who she is.
Yeah.
And my word means nothing to her. And so I told myself, because she was dealing with my coworker at the time, and like I said, we're a team, right? So it doesn't matter who makes the sale as long as the sale is made.
Right.
And so I'm like, man, I got to distract these little kids. And then so I asked them, I said, how old are you guys? And the girl piped up. She says, I'm 6. And then the boy said, we're twins. So we're both 6. And then so I was like,
idiot.
right? And I was like, man, that's so cool because that's something I always wanted was a twin.
Yeah.
Anyways, my point is, like, there's a way, like, you basically relieve the parents of that stress because they're thinking, oh, man, my kid's crazy. You know, everybody's going to be judging me.
Right.
I don't even want to go to the barbershop. Like, I'd rather just mess up their hair my own than take them and have to go through the embarrassment. Yeah. But, I mean, true kids, you know, like, well, I'm not a parent, so I can't speak on that.
Right.
But the kids that do get out of hand.
Not that you know of.
Right. I know, right? Exactly. I'd be afraid.
Right.
Shout out.
Yeah.
Shout out to Joseph's.
Right.
Illegitimate children.
Right. Those little chivos. Yeah. But definitely you make the parent feel better, and that's probably what the main goal is because, like I said, ultimately they're going to be giving you the money.
Right, yeah, and I can definitely testify to that per my barber's, what he's told me about that. Like, a lot of parents, I mean, of course you have the option if you're, like, really embarrassed of your kid, then you cut their own hair because you don't want to go through the embarrassment of them making a scene. But the other route that my barber goes through, he charges $50 a haircut for him to go to a man's house that his kids are kind of necios and he doesn't want to take him to the shop. So he's willing to pay, I mean, I think he said he had like 2 or 3 kids and then plus the guy's hair. So he's willing to pay like about $200 to get his haircut just to avoid those kids going into the barbershop and making a scene. Because that's embarrassing.
Yeah.
Like, dude, like, I would be super embarrassed if I go to any establishment and I don't have a kid, but if I had a kid, like, they're making a scene. Mm-hmm. So some people
he has to be like getting after them, like watching
and
them.
how are you going to do that when you're getting your haircut in the booth?
That's pretty much the whole point of it, right? Because he's going to be in the booth for like at least 20 minutes.
Yeah, and if he's got like 3 kids and then him, that's straight up 2 hours minimum just for the haircuts, not the waiting time too. So like,
it's.
I didn't know barbers made house calls.
Yeah,
some do.
That's pretty cool.
Some do, yeah. I think the standard is 50 though. Like,
oh yeah.
I mean, when you think about because the basic haircut's like $15-20. So I mean, that's 30 minutes. Plus you gotta drive to the guy's house, drive back, take the equipment. You gotta buy like wireless stuff.
Right. I mean, what if you made an agreement with like Uber? Instead of like Uber Eats, like Uber Cuts.
Uber Cuts.
Right?
Uber Cuts.
They bring you the clientele. Dude, I'll drive the Uber.
Hey, but I'm going to have to clip this out. Dude.
Right?
Taking our ideas, man.
We're going to have to pay some tributes.
Yeah.
That's a legit idea.
Right?
That is a good idea, man. There are a lot of people that kind of like dedicate themselves to be mobile barbers. And I think you told me about one, right? Somebody you know that does like cuts.
Oh yeah, he basically decked out an RV, an old RV, transformed it to a barber shop, and so he goes to all the oil fields.
Right.
Because like I'm not sure if a lot of our listeners know, but sometimes those guys have to stay on for a month, and they get like a week off, and then they got to go back for another month, and so they're very restricted on where they can go to get supplies. And so most of the guys, you know, they come home with their hair like all super long. And like you said, it makes you feel just so much better having that fresh cut, having that appearance.
Definitely.
And so even though you're doing probably one of the dirtiest jobs that there is to do, working on an oil field and real dangerous too.
Yeah.
Then my buddy, he performs them that luxury, or gives them that luxury of coming to them.
Yeah.
Plus, it make bank. So I mean.
Yeah, definitely.
So he charges them.
Yeah.
Well, I think he's pretty moderate, but then again, he has to incorporate the trip, the gas, RV, and you know everything his overhead. So.
Yeah, definitely, and that's one thing I wanted to touch on in detail on a future podcast. But yeah, dude, that's one of the many good business ideas for Barber. Like, if you don't want to work at a shop and you just want to work, I don't know, like a few days a week. I mean, at least here in South Texas, like a lot of the oil fields are very like isolated. They're not like in the city where there's a lot of barbershops. So, dude, you could like easily like upcharge them, and I mean, rightly so, because you're going to them, wasting gas,
convenience.
You gotta buy an RV, and plus these guys make money. I mean, they can't go out to the city. I mean, they work like crazy long hours. So I mean, that's a good idea in itself. Like charging 30, I mean, 25, 30, 40 bucks, whatever you think is right, for the convenience for you to go to them, and you know, make bank in one day, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Make like a week's pay.
Yeah, definitely, man.
Yeah, so a lot of good stuff today, man. A lot of good stuff.
Yeah, we covered some good points, man. We'll see what the next podcast brings.
Next podcast, you got your school about to start, man. You officially put in your 2 weeks.
Yeah, man. What's today?
Today is the 13th, July 13th.
July 13th, and I'm starting on August 8th, man.
So now the real nerves are gonna start to kick in, sir.
Dude, I've noticed that, like, I don't know if it's like my blood pressure, but dude, I've been feeling like a little stressed out lately, dude. And I think it's because in the back of my mind, I know I'm doing all this, and I've had a bunch of other stuff going on. So it's like, So
it's
like
a little stressful.
The stress level is like way up there, but
you're gonna stress out. It's something new, dude. It's changed, so like it's rightfully so to be stressed out a little bit. But yeah, I'm pretty sure after the first day,
yeah, definitely, man.
It'll be a little less stressful.
Yeah, so we'll definitely make at least one podcast, maybe two. But then after that, I mean, I'll be officially in school, and maybe I get a new podcast on how the school process is going. Definitely, like how
for sure,
how the instructors are doing, how we're learning, and then
how it's going with the cuts, with the customers.
Yeah, because I think not until after 3 months is when like you're already out of class and you're just straight up all you're doing is cutting hair, putting in your hours to make that. I think it's like 1,500 hours you got to do.
So you're saying for the first 3 months you'll just be in class, or will it be like half class, half cutting?
I got the schedule at home. I'll have to look at it again. But I know most of it is like learning about the history of barbering, learning about the sanitation, learning about the head parts, about all the clippers. And I know like partly in class you'll also like be cutting hair. But not like all day. But you'll be getting like
on those mannequins? Like those dolls?
Yeah,
dude, those things freak me out.
Those are crazy.
Yeah, like
They're
one
creepy.
started blinking at me. I was like, hey. I'm married.
Please take me to dinner.
Right?
Yeah, but you'll be cutting hair, but with instructors versus after the 3 months, like all you're doing is cutting hair. You just start putting in time.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's next month, bro. It's already here, man. It's
came by fast, dude. I remember you told me like last year that you were.
Dude, I told you like a year ago.
Gonna do it. That you were thinking about it. Well, you told me before you were thinking about it, and then you were like, "All right, I'm doing it." And now it's like less than a month away,
it's here, man.
Time flew by fast, dude.
Nah, man, I'm nervous, but at the same time, I'm confident, man. If I apply the same work ethic I have into barbering and the skills I've learned in customer service, apply the principles to barbering, I think I'll definitely get customers coming back once I learn the skill, of course.
Yeah, definitely, man. That's not even a question, for sure.
But all right, Joey, I appreciate you coming on the show, man. Maybe we'll have you on in the future, bro.
Yeah, for sure. If
really
Coronas are there,
I'm
there.
If wherever there's a Corona, you will be
there. Right? I think Yoda said that, right?
I think so. Episode 5.
Oh, 5?
I don't know.
Hey!
Return of the Corona.
Right.
Return of the Corona.
Alright, man. But I appreciate you guys listening in, and until next time.
Alright, laters, y'all.
Laters.